Right.
It was really when I got home that night and I realised the enormity of what I was taking on, because this was obviously going to be bigger than anything else I'd ever done, for one thing. And that meant more scrutiny, and it was going to be more public. And it was also obviously going to be a difficult investigation, because most murders are solved because they're not planned.
There has been promulgated a belief that there is such a thing as a child that is born in the wrong body.
Right.
This is absolute nonsense. There's no scientific basis for it. It's a new idea that has emerged into our culture, and it's emerged into our culture actually from something called queer theory.
Right.
And it's got such traction now that people actually believe that that a transgender child exists, was born that way.
No witnesses, no ID, and no DNA sample match me. And that's what everyone else turned around and said. That's what's confusing me. I said, no, if someone's not got no legal experience and looked at all my case papers and looked at my justice program, they'd be itching their head and turn around and said, this is definitely a miscarriage of justice at the end of the day, without a doubt.
This is a huge chunk of your life that I don't want to say lost, because I you know.
No, say it has lost.
And so, as I say, at the end of June, after 3 years in prison and obviously labelled a paedophile and having to remain on the sex offenders register, you were triumphant, weren't you? You were vindicated when the Court of Appeal quashed your conviction and ordered your release. How did that feel?
A bit overwhelming, to be honest with you. I don't really think it's sunk in. I still feel some days that I'm in prison.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to readjust.
Obviously, the extradition hearing at the Old Bailey is completed now today, with a decision expected, I believe, is it January the 4th, 2020?
January 4th, yes.
Can you tell us about how this has been?
I mean, it's been quite incredible, and we didn't expect it to go this well, considering how, Julian's defense has been sabotaged at every step, but actually his team really pulled through. Like they've proven so many things. They've proven there was no hacking, there was no callous publishing of unredacted materials. On the other hand, they showed clearly that this is a political persecution, that this is a political offense. And the spotlight really has been on the United States.
And it was at 14 where you had one of your first encounters that made you realise that you were vulnerable. And to my understanding, that was when a director asked you to go topless. Is that correct?
He did. I was doing Shakespeare in the Park, and I was so excited to be, again, part of this show. It was a dream that I had. It was my first words. It's all I've ever wanted to do, was to be in the film and theater industry and perform. And that was very shocking to me. And, he thought that it would be best for the love scene, and he made the claim that really the audience was only going to see my back, so that the only people that would see me topless would be the other actor, and then, who was backstage.
A lot of them are represented right there in the poster. You see, if you look closely, it's actually a bunch of scrolled up film posters. That's what our poster is, with a big birthday sort of surprise box and a puddle of blood laying around it. And then a bunch of rolled up dollar bills in there. See, it all represents the idea that we're willing to give our lives, our blood, our sweat, our tears to be in this industry. And it's an industry of vampires. I mean, it really is.